In the day's other headlines, a federal judge has dismissed President Trump's $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the publisher of the Wall Street Journal for a story on the president's ties to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. That article from last summer centered on a sexually suggestive letter written for Epstein's 50th birthday that appears to bear Trump's signature. The president denies writing it. The ruling marks the latest setback to the president in his efforts to manage fallout from the Epstein files. Mr. Trump's legal team said they would refile the suit. The Trump administration says it will allow the Stonewall National Monument in New York to fly a rainbow pride flag once again. That reverses an administration directive to remove it back in February, which drew fierce backlash. It also settles a high-profile lawsuit from LGBTQ+ groups and historic preservationists. The site is the first ever national monument commemorating LGBTQ+ history. Pending a judge's approval, the pride flag will return to a federal flagpole raised between an American flag and the Park Service flag. A new study found that deadly anti-Semitic attacks around the world last year were the highest seen in more than 3 decades. In all, 20 people were killed across 3 continents. 15 of those people were killed in the mass shooting at a Hanukkah celebration on Sydney, Australia's Bondi Beach. Other deadly attacks were recorded in the U.S. and the U.K. The annual report from Tel Aviv University said the violence is part of a spike following Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel and Israel's war in Gaza that followed. Swimmers from both Russia and Belarus will be allowed to compete on the world stage again without restrictions and with their respective flags and national anthems. That marks a major shift in a key sport ahead of the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. World Aquatics, the sport's governing body, had required Russians and Belarusians to compete as neutral athletes since 2023 after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In a statement, World Aquatics said it would, quote, ensure that pools and open water remain places where athletes from all nations can come together in peaceful competition. And on Wall Street, stocks staged a big comeback today despite the stalemate in peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 300 points for a modest gain, while the Nasdaq shot up by more than 1%. With a 1% gain of its own today, the S&P 500 has rallied to erase nearly all its losses from the Iran war. Still to come on the News Hour, Democrat Eric Swalwell resigns from Congress amid sexual assault allegations. Tamara Keith and Jasmine Wright break down the latest political headlines. And media expert Evan Shapiro joins our podcast to discuss the future of the industry.
This is the PBS News Hour from the David M. Rubenstein Studio at WETA in Washington, headquarters of PBS News.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.